Welcome back to Wee Woolly Wonderfuls, and in this tutorial we're going to be showing you how to do open eyes with little eyelashes. If it's you don't want the eyelashes, you can just do them as the open eyes without, but we're going to add little eyelashes onto ours. So let's get started. So we're going to thread some more black wool like we did for the last eyes, pop a double knot on the end and then just trim the end off, so it's just a little double knot at the end there. And then we're going to firstly pin where we want our eyes to be. It tells you in the pattern whereabouts to do it. And we want them nice and even. And we're going to go, let's have a look, a few rows up. Around here, we're putting our pins where we want the bottom of the eyes to be. I'll just compare them to this, Betsy here, see if they look quite okay. Make sure they're nice and even. Get them right to start with if possible, and then you will find it's easier. So I want to make sure they're nice and level and they're roughly at the right height. We're going to start our eye base off where the hearts are. You get plenty of thread. There's still all of this left if you've got a kit. So there's usually quite a lot to go wrong if you go wrong, but you shouldn't really need it. So we're going to go in quite a way away, right through the stuffing, and we're going to come out where our pin is. And then we're going to pull that so the knot disappears in and gets lost inside. I'm going to take that out now so I can see what we're doing. So we're going to do the eye. It's not going to be completely vertical. It's actually going to be slightly at an angle this way, like so. And however high you want your eyes, if you want it this high, always do it a little bit longer because it tends to pull shorter once you start sewing it. So we're going to do that. Come out in there, and then we're going to come out back at the base again where we started. Try not to split the thread if you can help it, because it can sometimes make it look a little bit messy. Oh, and try to catch the thread on her arm as well. So there we have the first stitch. And we're going to do, I usually say 2 or 3 is plenty. You might want to do a 4th. It depends how defined you want the eyes. You want them defined enough without looking too thick and black, because that can look a little bit too big. So I'm going to go for a 3rd one. I'll move that out of the way. And what I'm going to do now is come out where I want the top eyelash to end. So we want it a little bit away and slightly higher. So we're always looking to come back out again where we want the next part to be. So here, so we're going to then go back in. We don't want the eyelash right at the top. We want it just below the top of the eye. And I'm going to move that slightly because I want to get that under there. I don't want to sew into that because it might drag it and make it look a bit untidy. So I'm going to move that slightly to get underneath because we don't want a gap between the eye and the eyelash. And then we're going to come out where I want the second one, which is slightly shorter. Let's have a look, maybe a touch higher. It's a bit of a tricky business, this. And it can take a few goes. What you tend to find is you end up with a really good eye that you love and a really bad one that's not quite right. So you always end up pulling one of them out. So then there's one eyelash. And the second eyelash, I'm going to go back in. We don't want them right together. That doesn't always look right. But just a little bit below. Again, trying to get our wool underneath to make sure there isn't a gap. And then we're going to come out, so go right down again and up again so we don't see the thread through the stuffing. We're going to come out where the second base should be. We'll see what that one looks like. See if we're happy with it. Oh, that's nice and cute, look, but we can pull it back if we're not happy. Now the tricky bit is now getting the other one the same. So we're starting off level. Let's make sure we're quite happy that's level. I think that needs to be a touch higher. So I'm going to go down through the same gap and come out just that little tiny bit higher. I think that's more level. Just look at it from different angles and check that you think it's going to be level. Yep, quite happy with that. And we want it at the same angle, so if you've done it slightly pointing out, it's kind of along the stitch line, but this side the stitch is more horizontal because it's just as the head has been shaped, so we want it slightly pointing outwards again at an angle. So just trying to get them as even as we can. So if we go here, I think that's about right. So we want similar height, but again, don't forget we're going a touch higher than we think we want our eye, because it will end up looking slightly shorter. So there we have one strand. And I'll try and stick to about the same number. Occasionally it might vary. Make sure by eye that they look a similar thickness to the eyes. Because the eyes really do give character, so it's important to get them right. So we'll go for our third one, and then again we're coming out where we want the top of the eyelash to be. Again, compare it to your other one all the time, because we want them as even as possible. Again, move that aside, and then how much different is that? That's pretty much a full stitch underneath, I'd say. So let's do that. I'm going to go for about there. You can always manipulate it a little bit if I want that high by pushing it around a bit, and that'll often work. And then it's just a touch below here, like so. And then we're going to come out, obviously between the stitch a little bit further away. Now before we fasten off, we're going to just check that we're happy with the eyes. Do they look even? Are we happy with the spacing? They look pretty good. I think this one looks a touch darker. So what I'm going to do is just go back down, come back out here, and just add one more line to that. Because even though we did 3 on each, I think that one looks a bit thicker and darker. So I want them the same. So I'm going to add another one to that one. And then I'm just going to come out somewhere a bit away, so I'm out the way and I can look at them. But you can manipulate them a little bit by going like that, moving them, tweaking the eyelashes a touch, so we'll move a little bit without having to undo them. And if your eyelash goes a bit small, you can always go like that, lift it up slightly just to make it up. Look at those, they're very pretty. We like those eyes. Look, it should look adorable. But certainly do take it out if you're unhappy, because you'll be forever looking at it thinking, I wish I'd redone that. And it only takes another few minutes. So we're going to finish our strand off there. Pull and cut. And look at those little eyes. She looks so sweet. So she's got pretty little eyes with her little lashes. Zoom in a bit closer so you can see those. Quite simple to do, quite effective. So I hope you've enjoyed that tutorial. This is the last one for the bunnies. So grab yourself a new kit and learn something and do something new. We also have our crochet kits, which we have majority of. So if you want to learn to crochet, we have the step-by-step videos for those too. So you can get crocheting as well, because we all need a lot more crafts in our life. It's a little bum wiggle from Betsy. And wave goodbye until next time. And thank you so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed these videos from Wee Woolly Wonderfuls. You can find all our kits at weewoolywonderfuls.com.